cool things now that we can do with the VP4 with this new firmware is use it as a sort of load box. So I wanted to try this for the first time in this video. These videos are brought to you by G66 UK, which is your place to get your FM3, FM9, AXFX3 or VP4 in the UK with no waitlist. So essentially I've got a Fractal X Load and a Lux reverb behind me, and although I can plug in, it doesn't sound great because it's not got the cab part, right, because I'm going into a load box. But we can use essentially a combination of the VP4 and the X Load to, I think, have some of the best sort of load boxy type things going. So what I'm going to do here, IR player, drag that in here, and in terms of picking stuff, I need to import an IR first of all. Here I can drag and drop onto here a cab that I use all the time. It's like a combination of two own hammer cabs. Then drag that into slot 1, save the changes, and close. So now which is cool. Right, so then what I could do, let's just look at some of the bits and pieces that we've got here. So multi-tap delay, and we can use this realistically now. You know, if you had a gig where you needed to go direct with the Fractal FP4 as well to front of house, take your X Load, take your load box, do this kind of thing, it's very, very powerful stuff. Let's bring in we can actually load two IRs, so you could have a couple of different things going on with that. I did see Leon Todd had talked about some kind of ideas around what you might want to do with that, but also you can have different channels with different cabs as well, right? But I tend to just keep it fairly simple with one IR at a time. If you decide things are sounding a little bit too spiky for you, you start to use a bit of drive. That's kind of one sort of idea that you could do there. So we could experiment with having other kind of effects in this little spot here, whatever those might be. So maybe like a stereo flanger, for example, is jets. I really like stereo jet. Or we could go for something classic kind of choruses. You can, yeah, just go absolutely bonkers here now with having all this kind of stuff, like great post effects. Now, I think out there sort of things, we've got 2 reverbs on his as well, don't forget. So, for example, yeah, that's, I think, a very, very useful box now, in a way that it just wasn't as before. Now, you know, I could take out the deluxe reverb load box and the Fractal VP4 and just be like, right, let's go for it. Equally, you could do this sort of thing with the Fractal FM3 or FM9 as well, of course, but, you know, this is a bit more of a compact thing. one other thing we can do here, because why not? So I thought, well, I don't have anything to go in front of the actual amp right now, but we could put an actual drive in front of the IR player. And if you pick your drive wisely, it actually sounds pretty good. So here's with the drive off. So you can experiment with unorthodox stuff like that as well. I think that actually sounds pretty good, really, considering. Right, anyway, catch you around.